Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot from ElliotOracle.com. I'm also the author of Fearless Tarot, How to Give a Positive Reading in Any Situation, which is due out from Llewellyn Books this October and is already available for pre-order on Amazon. If you like my approach to tarot, you are going to love this book. It is time for this week's Oracle Reveal. So earlier today on Instagram, I placed up a photo with 3 different animals on it. And the animals were the stag, the buffalo, and the whale. And I asked you to use your intuition and ask yourself which animal is calling to you because that animal has a message for you. For those of you who pick stag, the card says take the lead, and stag is all about leadership. It's about being a leader without necessarily having followers, but standing up for your integrity and going towards what's true for you. This is also a card of really stepping up to the plate and meeting your challenges face on, taking responsibility for what's before you. The first card for stag people is where it's best to place their focus for this next week. And they got the 5 of Cups. And on this card, you can see an individual who's placing their focus on 3 spilled cups, 3 things that are a disappointment. The cups are spilt on the card. However, this is also a card that indicates that all is not lost. And in fact, in the background of the card, you can see behind the 3 spilled cups, there's actually 2 cups that are still standing. And what this is really indicating is that all is not lost right now. If this is attached to that stag medicine, it could indicate that you really need to take charge or take the lead with something right now in your life that might have felt like a disappointment. It looks like it was a setback, but all is not lost yet. It's not yet time to throw your hands up in the air and give up. If you're able to look at the 2 things that are actually working for you, symbolized by the 2 cups that are standing up upright behind the figure, if you were to turn around and look at those, you'd actually see that bridge that's also over those troubled waters. So this could be a time where you really need to shift your focus back toward that which is actually working in your life in order to find the way past the present impasse. The second card is advice from your inner wisdom for the stag people, and you got the 7 of Swords. Again, this is a card that indicates that not everything is easy right now. You see this man whose homeland has been invaded by this army, and they've set up these little camp tents behind him, and you can even see the soldiers in the background all deciding how they're going to divvy up this figure's land. When this card comes up, it indicates that you might be up against a challenge right now that feels like your own proverbial invading army, and that it's important for you not to give up, but to get smarter. So both of these cards are saying don't look at things on their face value, but to keep working forward, to keep pushing yourself. The figure on the 7 of Swords is sneaking into the enemy camp and he's stealing away a majority of their swords. He's greatly reducing their power, and he doesn't even have to fight any troops. He's already won the war. He's already defeated the army. This card is saying that you have the wits, the intelligence, in order to meet the challenge at hand and overcome something that appears initially as a loss, but may have a hidden blessing inside of it. And then finally, we got the mythic archetype that will be helping the people that pick the stag card, and we got Lachesis. She's the second of the 3 fates, the 3 Moirae. And she is the fate who takes that thread of life and measures it. She's also the fate that has to do with luck, and she has that element of making your own luck as well. It's important to realize that you get to decide what you do with the measure of thread that you're allotted, and that you can decide to say, hey, I don't have any responsibility over this. This is just what's happening to me. Or you can actually take that thread and define what your life is going to look like, what kind of destiny you're going to live up to, and really not to take something at that face value of disappointment and feel defeated, but really to take the lead and to be victorious anyway. The second animal we got is the buffalo spirit. And it said the abundance, the abundant universe will provide. When we see a buffalo, it's all about abundance. It's all about security. This could be financial. This could also just feel like a really comforting card, which shows you how many gifts you have or the things that you can really allot in your life at this time. There's always a gratitude that's attached to the buffalo medicine. So this could also be just a time to be grateful if things are going well and to show thanks for it. The first card we got for the Buffalo people is where it's best to place your focus this next week, and we get the High Priestess. She is the card of your inner knowing, your instincts, your intuition. It's so important that you are listening to that sacred place within you right now. The High Priestess is seated between a black and a white pillar. And like the High Priestess's position, she tells you that there is nothing ever in life that's just black or white, all or nothing. But there's always nuance here. And the High Priestess is telling you to pull back the veil of your fears of change and transformation and really bathe back into those primordial waters. This is a time to listen to the call of your soul. Listen to your dreams. Listen to what your inner stirrings are telling you to do at this time, because that's going to be your way forward. And don't be on either extreme. Don't go too black. Don't go too white this next week, but instead stay neutral. Try to take that middle ground and see every point of view. The second card we got is advice from your inner wisdom, and another major arcana card comes up for the Buffalo people, the Lover's card. This is a card of transcendence and cooperation. It actually shows the two lovers being blessed by the angel on the card, and angels in the tarot always represent your higher self. This is a time to really let your higher self look at your life without judgment and really just accept it for where it's at. And also, when we see that Lover's card, it's a time of compromise. It's a time to really share with other people or make those connections that are going to be most helpful for your own personal advancement. The Lovers is all about harmony, and both of these cards are major arcana cards. So for Buffalo, this next week is a really great time to key into your spirit again and listen to what it's telling you to do. And then finally, the mythic archetype we have for Buffalo is Atropos, the third of the three fates. So we had the second of the three fates. Here's the third. She's the fate who cuts the thread of life at its end. And she's also the fate that symbolizes endings. Sometimes she says it's time to cut the thread to something that is no longer serving your spiritual evolution, especially with these two major arcana cards right next to it. It's okay to cut things out of your life that just no longer serve a purpose for you. This is a card that says endings are actually going to lead to rebirth and new beginnings, but it's important to let go at this time, especially of your assumptions, both with the High Priestess card with that compromising black and white pillar, and then also the duality that's found in the Lover's card too. This is not a time for being binary in your decision making, but instead to have a more nuanced view. And then finally, we got the people who picked Whale Spirit, and it says, trust in the great mystery. And Whale is also the keeper of the records of the past lives, or even the past of the planet. So when we're attracted to the whale, this could be a time to look backward. First card for Whale is where it's best for them to place their focus this next week. And we got the Hangman card, which is a card of sacrifice. You can see the figure of the hangman here is hanging upside down. It's like his life has been turned upside down. But if you look at his face, he's not even suffering. He's really accepted this period of topsy-turviness. And as he's turning upside down, all the energy is rushing to his head and it's starting to glow. And this is indicating using situations in your life where it feels like the universe is putting things on their head and finding that hidden inner wisdom, that hidden spiritual message that's found beneath that. The Hangman is always a card of sacrifice, and he says you may put yourself through a discomfort or something that's not 100% comfortable in the immediate term in order to ensure a positive result in the long term. Next, we have advice from your inner wisdom for the people who pick Whale, and we got the Queen of Swords. She is a master at transforming the energy from feeling like a victim to feeling victorious. She wears that butterfly crown. She's also logical and dispassionate. Both of these cards signify people that are working independently. All the Swords cards show birds in the background of the court cards, Page, Knight, Queen, and King. But the Queen of Swords alone has only one lone bird above her head there, and that indicates that she works best independently at this time. Same with the Hangman. This is going to be a time to step away and to act on your own behalf through logical action and also setting up some firm boundaries. And then finally, we have a mythic archetype that is going to be helping the people that picked Whale, and we got the Gorgon Medusa. Medusa represents dealing with things in the shadows that are hard to look at. In fact, if you were to look directly at them, they might even turn you to stone. They might petrify you. And what she teaches you to do is look at their reflection. Maybe this is a time to inspect your own cards or do a reading for yourself, or look at a situation that's difficult to look on head on in a more nuanced way and in a reflective way. And that's this week's Oracle Reveal. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can always see me at elliotoracle.com. Otherwise, I hope you all have a safe and happy week. Please do take care.